Today I've got to talk about sportsmanship on Rome Total War. And listen, I don't really care if the opponent wants to be a whiny baby. That just increases my pleasure. But I do think if people are a bad sport, that they should get exposed for it. And so that's what I'm doing today. We've got a game against the Titans clan. And the Titans were actually the ones who I was in when I was first doing 31K. So I have a lot of respect for some of the Titans. For example, Spitfire right here. Spitfire is a great dude. Nothing bad to say about him whatsoever. However, these other two dudes, we got Beast and Paglia, were acting like absolute fools in this game. So you got Paglia here. He was talking mad shit before the game because we had a little spat in the previous game. So Paglia was saying a bunch of dumbass shit. He was saying, he was calling me a no-lifer on Rome Total War. And to be fair to Paglia, that's absolutely true. But the thing is, he's also a no-lifer on Rome Total War. I mean, I've seen this dude grind the game harder than about anyone I've ever seen. This guy played this game 6 hours a day for over a year straight. And the only difference between me and Paglia is I'm actually good at the game. This guy no-lifed it and he still sucks ass. So I don't really understand where this insult's coming from. Seems like a little bit of a no-lifer friendly fire, honestly. But yeah, this dude tried so hard to be good, but he still sucks at the end of the day. I mean, we're talking about a guy who basically trained for, like I said, over a year to be good at 31K, and then got fucking owned by Terra, who doesn't even play 31K, in Armenia versus Macedon. Terra was Armenia and Paglia was Macedon, and he still fucking lost against a guy who literally doesn't give a fuck about 31K. So this guy actually sucks. I mean, we're talking about a dude from Azerbaijan who can't even kill Armenians. I mean, imagine how sad you've got to be. Bro, no wonder they fucking shipped this dude off to Germany. He's a national embarrassment. And then you've got Beast over here. I mean, Beast, to be fair, he's one of the OGs. One of the OGs of 31K. I mean, when I was getting my start on 31K, I used to watch Beast videos. Now, I mean, to be fair, this dude, I think he was always a little overrated, but fair play to the guy. He was one of the top players at the start of 31K. So honestly, more respect for that than for this noob over here. But anyway, let's look at my team. I've got Amanda on my team, and I've got the immortal Lando on my team. I mean, to be fair, I'd be raging too if I had to go up against the Beast, the absolute unit that is Lando in a game, with my whole trained clan. I mean, shit, dude. I mean, that's pretty unfair to ask them to go up against an absolute monster like Lando. Yeah. So let's see how the battle goes. So right off the bat, they're doing a push on Amanda with a bunch of loose urbans. They have more infantry than us. I brought 4 archers just because I saw that Spitfire brought 4 archers. I didn't know that Amanda was taking all these archers, so I didn't even intend for us to have the archer advantage, because they're going to go on and whine about kiting in this game, hardcore. I've never seen anyone bitch this hard in my life. But yeah, again, I didn't really even intend for us to have an archer advantage. I was just trying to mirror so we didn't have the archer disadvantage. Anyway, I'm getting some shots on Spitfire's moving cavalry here. But apparently they didn't get any kills, even though those were great shots. But I think I'm going to change targets to this cav unit. Oh, I did actually get some kills eventually. Pretty good kills. But anyway, they're pushing, and it's fine for them to be pushing. But the one thing that they do have to worry about is the more that they do this, the more that these urbans are going to start to get fatigued. So even if they get some material out of this push, it's going to come at a pretty steep cost of fatiguing units that won't be useful later on in the game if they're unable to rest. So keep that in mind. Because one thing that the opponents are going to claim is that they were so far ahead in this game that we should have just admitted defeat, and that the fact that we stayed in the game was like some sort of unfair play, or like, yeah, basically that. They thought that they were winning so hard that we should have just admitted defeat. But I mean, I think, I don't want to give any spoilers about the result, but I think your claim to that kind of goes out the window when you fucking lose. I mean, if you were so far ahead, how'd you fucking lose? So yeah, they're attacking Amanda, who is trying to flee and get some of her units out of here. But in the meantime, we are counterattacking on Spitfire. Lando is doing a pretty sloppy attack with his cav, but he's tied down these two Praetorian cav of Spitfire, and I'm going to be able to take them out with my own cavalry, I think. So this charge is really good, getting some of them Praetorian cav out of the way. And Spitfire took some losses on his urbans. On the other side, they have been able to take out some of Amanda's units, but again, like I said, they're fatiguing these urbans, and they're getting into sword fights with urbans with their cavalry, so they're going to be taking losses on these Praetorian cavalry. So this is not as one-sided of a trade as they'll later make it out to be. Especially when we're getting sort of counterplay on the other flank. See, this is bad. Like, this is just straight up bad, right? Look at all these units in the 40s. It might not be the most noticeable now, but like as the game goes forward, these losses add up, and they do matter. So yeah, they've been able to severely damage Amanda's infantry force. However, it's come at a pretty steep cost of cav and urban fatigue. So Lando starts counterattacking on Beast. I don't really rate this counterattack. I'd much rather him just go after Spitfire, but he insisted that I help him. So I try to get a charge through here, but I actually miss target here. And you can see that they never go into the charging status, which is pretty bad because this charge would have done a lot of damage. And I actually end up losing a lot of cav. So this was pretty unfortunate. I guess I just like targeted maybe just slightly too deep, or there was like a little bit of a targeting glitch, which sometimes happens on laggier games. But anyway, they've done some damage to Amanda. We've done some damage to Spitfire. And look at this. Look at this. Pogli is all fatigued. Very fatigued. So, all in all, it's really not so bad for us. Maybe you could say that it was like pretty good for them, but definitely not like it's over levels of winning for them. I mean, Spitfire lost like the majority of his cavalry, so I think I might actually prefer to be us in this situation, although it's very close. But yeah, this is a position where the Titans teams started to claim that we should just have admitted defeat. Imagine that, admitting defeat when you've got like two full armies, and when one of the opponents is so badly out of position. I mean, look at Spitfire. He's in a horrible position. I'm just trying to push on these archers with my Praetorians here. And Lando and I are attacking Spitfire's out of position urbans right here. So we're just taking out free units here. And basically Spitfire is completely toast here. I mean, we've whacked the vast majority of his units. So it's crazy for Beast and Paglia to be saying that we should have just admitted defeat here when they didn't take out the majority of Amanda, but we've taken out the majority of Spitfire. We're actually objectively ahead here. Now, Lando evens up the game a little bit by he's been overrunning his urbans. Holy crap, like look at this. Very tired. So this is really bad. The way that Lando is managing his units right now, this is pretty bad. So if anything, it's not any mistakes by us that is getting them back in the game. It's just Lando's mistakes. So I don't know. I don't know where they're getting all of this shit talk from, but I'm just P-laying these Cav because I want to get something out of it if we're gonna lose Lando. And Lando's gonna try to countercharge here, but again, yeah, the way that Lando managed his stamina was really bad. Like almost as bad as Paglia's. And Amanda's taking a bit of Pila here, which is suboptimal. And another thing that Beast was saying is that, like, oh, you guys were fleeing just because you had a few archers. Like, look how many archers we have. Like, why would we just straight up melee engage right away when we've got this much ammo? My archers have experience upgrades. They're capable of doing tons of damage. Here I'm just going to clean up a few more of Spitfire's units. So Lando just won't extricate himself from this bad situation. So we're just going to kind of let him die, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And Amanda goes to help Lando with a cavalry charge. It's definitely going to kill some of these Praetorians, but it's also going to put her cav units in a precarious spot. So you can see some of her units start to rout. But if you look at the battlefield, like my urban force and Beast's urban force are the most significant forces on the field, except for mine are fresher. That's the main difference. And I have all my Pila pretty much. Except for the ones that I like spent on cavalry. And my cavalry force is by far the strongest on the field. It's less fatigued and they're better upgraded. And Amanda's getting her cavalry back. So again, this position that they want to claim is super hopeless is actually completely fine. This position is completely fine for us. Look at the fatigue levels. Very tired. They can't really chase us because they'll get more fatigued. But if they don't chase us, then our archers are going to have time to work. No, I'm not saying that they don't have chances here. They do have more infantry units than us. But this is not a situation where any sane player would admit defeat. This is just not. This is a freaking normal game situation. So it's at this point that the opponents, they decide that they want to rest their units because their units are extremely fatigued. Especially Paglia's. Like the ones on the end are more fatigued because they've had to take a bigger circle around this whole battlefield. And since I'm fresher, I just want to keep them moving. So I'm like flanking to see if they'll move. Because I want, especially these units, to try to get over to where I am. That would be optimal. But I don't think Paglia actually takes the bait, which is good on him. And now I'm just taking the chance to pour fire into Paglia's cavalry. Because why not? Like if they're just going to sit here, then obviously we're going to shoot as much as possible. So I threw a little bit of Pila at this Testudo, but it was still kind of forming up, so it was fine. And I throw a lot of Pila, even if it's like suboptimal targets, because I want to be able to attack, especially on the fatigued units, whenever I want. So that's why I'm like just dumping my Pila, because I like being able to just sword rush whenever I can. And so Beast decides to make a counterattack on my units, seeing that they're in loose. And honestly, Beast gets a little unlucky here. I'm not exactly sure what the fuck happens, but like, I guess this Pila volley just made this unit start losing really fast, and it just routes, which I honestly That's kind of a new one for me. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty funny. Um, but I don't think it was very crucial in the outcome of the game because it's gonna come back. Um, so right now we've got all these archers, and yeah, they're tired. They could probably catch our archers if they wanted to, but they're so fatigued that any attempt for them to kill our archers is going to come at a big cost for them. But they are starting to get closer to fresh, which means that we would want to attack sooner rather than later. Paglia starts pushing on my urbans, but this attack is a bit uncoordinated. You see Beast is a little bit far, so Lando just countercharges and starts routing some of Paglia's cavalry. And basically he's just going for broke here. I guess he got a little bit impatient. And again, you know, they were saying like, oh, you guys were like taking forever. Like, dude, it's a fucking game. Like, we're going to try to win. If we have more archers, then like, sucks to suck. I'm sorry, bro. Like, it doesn't give you the right to like cry about it and say that like, oh, we really won. No, you didn't. You fucking got owned. So Paglia is just pouring in his units. Beast's coming in with all these cavalry. This is like a mega dumb attack. Like, this is like pretty pretty special, honestly. But they're getting charged from all sides here, and you know, Paglia can say like, "Oh, I was just throwing the game because like archers." Like, bro, you still lost. I mean, it's not my fault if you decide to throw the game. Like, if that just makes you an idiot. Sorry to break it to you, but you know, not trying doesn't mean you win. Like, again, sucks to suck, mate. But I'm just gonna fire into their rears because I've snuck my archers around their back, and they are still sorta kinda in the game. I mean, their cav disadvantage is pretty severe at this point. It's gonna be really hard for them to win, but they're gonna try. You know, God loves a trier, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. I remember they were talking so much shit that like I didn't want to fuck this up, so I was making sure that our team came at this in the correct way and we weren't cutting any corners. You can see they've got a lot of urbans, but Cav beats urbans straight up. Cav is way better in these end games than urbans. So I just form up a double line. I'm taking some Pila, but it's okay because I know they don't have a ton of Pila left at this point. And they just tried to flank with their cavalry, but they left these two urbans. So you know, if Beast wasn't trying, he wouldn't have sent his cavalry back over to try to save his urbans. But he does, because the whole not trying thing was just a massive cope. Like, these guys were coping. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen players this experienced cope this hard. Like, I mean, you expect like noobs to cope because it's kind of like a toddler like shitting his pants or whatever. Like, it's normal for a noob to be like, oh well, you know, archers, it's not fair. But like, these dudes have been playing for legitimately years. So they know better. They're just being like massive twats. I'm not sure why. And yeah, it's not a reflection of the Titans clan as a whole. I really put it down to Paglia mainly. I mean, he's the most toxic dude in the clan. Like, I don't have a problem with other dudes, especially some of the ex-Titans like Bubo and Spark. Don't have a problem with those dudes so much. So especially especially a few of the ex-members. But this isn't, and Spitfire's chill as fuck. So it's really just a few individuals in their clan that I have an issue with. But we're about to finish them off here. We start to do a flank attack here. Amanda still got a little bit of Pila, so she's going to march up in loose formation, dump the Pila off. Again, Pila, when they're forming into Testudo, still does damage. It's not like they were already in Testudo. And I'm flanking around with some Urbans. Oh, and these Pila volleys are insanely damaging. I mean, these units are just standing there in, like, not even tight formation, like mega tight formation that they get when they just exit Testudo. So this is honestly a little bit ed from Paglia, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I was in school, you'd be put in a separate class for doing something like that. But yeah, they're doing a little attack, and again, Paglia is just like gonna overextend like he did before and just get owned again. And yeah, Beast isn't really backing him up, which is like pretty, again, a little bit ed. So they're kind of doing the whole, you know, Dumb and Dumber routine over here, but it's okay, you know. You can't feel too bad for them because they were acting like big losers, to be honest. I was shocked because I didn't have that much to say to them. Like, maybe Paglia, but like I wasn't going in there trying to like start some beef with Beast. He just ended up being such a twat, man. I don't know. So now it's pretty much over. We're just gonna split up and start charging from different angles. I mean, this is pretty academic at this point. I mean, yeah, look, like these charges are slaughtering them. This is gonna slaughter them. And yeah, they've just got Urbans all around them on different sides. They've got Cav all around them on different sides. So they're not going to be able to hold this position. Honestly, I mean, Beast's doing just about as well as he could. But now I've got my Urbans into his Cav, and now it's going to start to like really snowball here. I'm just going to take this fight. He charges. He thought he caught me off guard, but he didn't. I'm just going to charge and kill these cavalry units. And yeah, now it's basically just time to send the house, start Z charging stuff, and or you know, whatever. Just cleaning up the noobs, taking out the trash. That's about it. But yeah, well played to Spitfire, because he didn't make any weird whiny noises during these games, but yeah, there was a lot of like whimpering and crying going on from Beast, especially after this game. And we're talking about a guy who like is settled down. Like, this is a dude with like a wife and kids. Like, bro, like you're a little too old to start like pooping your diaper and crying after you lose on a video game. So yeah, I just this is a message out there to Beast and Paglia to grow up. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the battle, and I'll be bringing you guys some commentary soon. Oh yeah, by the way, I dunked on their whole fucking team. Like, look, that 22-20. That's a lot of kills. With 866 remaining, I mean, shit. I mean, they got owned. Look, they didn't even have diddly squat remaining. I mean, the fact that they're complaining about we should have admitted defeat when it was a clear victory. I mean, dude. I mean, I got as many kills as like two of them put together. I mean, shit, man. Whatever. Fuck these dudes, except for Spitfire. And have a blessed day, guys.